unclaimed money. The division oversees $2.4 billion in unclaimed property. Grossman has used the program to win supporters in the legislature, including Concord State Representative Corey Atkins.
So he gave them a list of people in our district. We called them. Said, go in and get your money. So we look like heroes.
After graduating from Princeton and Harvard Business School, Grossman went on to work in the family business run by his father and uncle Jerome Grossman, the Massachusetts Envelope Company, now known as Grossman Marketing Group. After 2 years in sales, Grossman left to work at Goldman Sachs. He stayed there for 3 years until he got a call from his father.
And he said, Steve, Terry, my uncle, wants to sell his interest in the business. I can't run this by myself. Are you interested in buying Terry's interest in the business? I said, Dad, I'll be right over. Because the thing that I wanted to do all my life was be in business with my father.
Steve Grossman became president and CEO of the company, a title he held for more than 30 years until he was elected state treasurer in 2010. Grossman boasts his family business has been a union shop for 62 years and never had a matter go to arbitration.
We've reinvented the business a number of times over the years. I think almost any business needs to reinvent some portion of itself every year to stay current with the needs of the customer. It was always about superior customer service, it's treating your employees right.
He's smart, he's fair, he's a great business leader.
Sheila Ryder has worked for Grossman Marketing for 30 years. She says about 25 years ago, she needed to take 6 months off after adopting a child.
I spoke to Steve about that and said I understood leaving a company for 6 months just wasn't a reasonable request. And he said, it's more than reasonable. We support you. We value your work. We value you personally. And go home, take care of your baby, and come back to us in 6 months.
His success in business allowed Grossman to pursue his other interest, raising money for Democratic candidates. He was a major fundraiser for Michael Dukakis' 1988 presidential campaign, catching the eye of Democratic operatives, including Marty Exifaris.
In terms of Steve being an incredibly intelligent guy, well-informed on the issues, very articulate, but also totally committed to democratic activism, to democracy, to participation in politics, to use an old-fashioned phrase, and really to his core believes in the kinds of things that are at my core. And so we've been best buds ever since.
Exifaris helped Grossman become the chairman of the Massachusetts Democratic Party in 1991. Grossman went on to helm the Democratic National Committee in the late 1990s. By his side for the last 46 years has been his wife, Barbara. The couple have 3 sons. Barbara Grossman says her husband is a genuinely caring, compassionate person.
It's not an act. It's not, I mean, everybody talks about transparency, but Steve really is truly concerned about people's well-being, almost to a fault. I mean, his father was known for, if you admired his tie, Edgar would whip his tie off and give you the tie. I mean, Steve is that kind of person.
Grossman credits his wife, a professor of drama at Tufts University, with helping him improve his speaking abilities on the campaign trail. He also credits another family member, his late uncle Jerome Grossman, as being his political mentor.
Jerry was a progressive activist, liberal leader. I mean, Jerry died 96 last year. Jerry's autobiography says it all. His blog was called, and his autobiography are called Relentless Liberal.
Steve Grossman is trying to follow in his uncle's footsteps in carrying the progressive label. This is the second time he has run for governor. His bid in 2002 came up short. Quoting the prophet Isaiah, Grossman says he wants to be the repairer of the breach.
When you are given the imprimatur of leadership by the people of the Commonwealth, there is something about being elected to office in a democracy that gives you the credibility and gives you the foundation on which to build, unlike anything else.
Grossman favors universal pre-K. He's calling for an increased prominence of arts and education. He supports making earned sick time state law, just as he did at his family business, and has said he will not vote to repeal the state's casino law, but will accept whatever the voters decide in November. While the questions of casinos will definitely be on the ballot this fall, Grossman must win Tuesday's primary for his name to be on the November ballot as well. For 90.9 WBUR, I'm Steve Brown.
Turn left on Massachusetts Avenue. Next hour on Morning Edition, we'll have a conversation with the Republican frontrunner in the race for governor, Charlie Baker. And tonight on WBUR, we'll have the latest debate between the Democrats running for governor. That takes place at 7 p.m.
We're funded by you, our listeners, and by the Lincoln Motor Company, introducing the first ever Lincoln MKC with the all-new available 2.3 EcoBoost powertrain. More at Lincoln.com. And Arts Emerson, the world on stage, celebrating its 5th anniversary season. Become an Arts Emerson member today and join the theatrical adventure. ArtsEmerson.org.
It's Morning Edition from NPR News. Good morning, I'm David Green.
And I'm Don Gagné. The Ukrainian President, Petro Poroshenko, says he and his Russian counterpart have reached a permanent ceasefire agreement in eastern Ukraine. Vladimir Putin's spokesman, however, said that Russia is not a party to the conflict and therefore can't be part of a ceasefire. He did say the two presidents spoke and reached an understanding about what's needed to stop the bloodshed. We go now to NPR's Soraya Sarhadi Nelson in Kiev. Good morning.
Good morning, Don.
So what is President Poroshenko's office saying about this ceasefire?
It was a very brief statement on his website, and basically he said that during a phone call, the two of them had reached a, quote, mutual understanding on the steps that promote peace. But exactly what steps he's talking about, he didn't say.